What's up, everybody? This is Keisha from Put Your Phone. Let me fix this. Didn't I say I was gonna do that? Okay. All right. This is your girl Keisha from Put Your Phone Down podcast. The ones that are watching, I really want to thank you. And I have this huge, humongous smile on my face. And I'm probably gonna do it the whole duration of this interview. I have the viral sensation, world renowned. He is covering all the maps, okay? I have Rio on here, but I'm gonna tell you something before we get to talking. I just told him like a year or two ago, I was on Instagram and I saw him singing the Peebo Bryson song. And I was like, who is this dude? And Instagram got its issues. So I have not been on there, but now I'm on TikTok. So you guys follow me. All right. So while I'm strolling through TikTok, he pops up. And I was like, wait a minute, this cannot be the same guy that I saw damn near 2 years ago. He was singing a Stevie Wonder song, Rip That Song Up. And I've shared it on my personal page, guys, and on YouTube. So you know what I'm talking about. Went on his page just to make sure. And I'm scrolling through, he got all these different melodies he's singing. But when I seen the black and white video that I saw damn near 2 years ago of him singing that song, I said, this is meant. This is meant. This whole moment is meant. And anybody who I've done an interview with, they have to know I get very emotional about it because it means that things are lining up. This is not an accident. This is not a coincidence. It's a big world. What's the odds of me seeing him again? And now the timing is here. So I want to say again, Rio, and I'm just going to call you Rio. I'm tired of saying it twice. Okay. I'm going to say it twice towards the end. Okay. But Rio is doing big things. He has a single out. I need you guys to go listen to it. Put it on the background of the songs when you're making your reels because it is available. I mean, this man's voice is wrapped in God. I'm trying to tell you. If you haven't seen his work, go on there. He is putting his all into this music. And I need you to support good music. Without any further ado, I hope I hyped you up, okay?
Man, what? Queen,
I
thank you.
got I got Rio on my podcast, man. So welcome to the podcast. Rio, what's up?
A hell of a welcome. Like, thank you so much. Like, no, like I was telling you before, I'm kind of I'm a little withdrawn from everything that kind of goes on the internet. So, I don't know, just how, I don't know, just the links that my videos and my content, I don't know, how far they reach sometimes. And like, just thank you. Thank you.
No, like
It's
like I
thank you
told
for
Dre,
giving me a platform for
look,
real.
like I told Dre yesterday, thank you because it starts with me asking and then it ends with you saying yes, no, I'm busy, I got things going on. And so we on two different time zones. You could be doing anything else, but you're spending it with me, and I spend half the time sweating and talking to you.
Where you
So,
located? Where you located?
I'm in Indiana.
You in Indiana? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I'm in Maryland. I'm in Maryland.
So
Okay.
that I guess not a guess, but how long have you been singing?
Ooh. Um. I probably since I was about like 2 or 3. They say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to kind of cultivate like a well-rounded singing voice, like a well-rounded singing voice. So it's like you get inspirations from your mom's side of the family, your dad's side of the family. I call it like an inspiration type tree, family tree, and that's just kind of what I was exposed to growing up as a kid. Like my mom's eclectic taste in music, my dad's, my aunts and my uncles taking me places to go and sing live, sing for the public. One of my aunts would take me to church, so I just got it from everywhere. But it started like around 2 or 3. My mom ended up buying her first house. She was a single mother. Her and my dad had split. I was about 2 or 3. And she ended up getting her first house from one of my aunts. And my aunt left this big trunk of VHS tapes. Like, these kids don't know nothing about, the VHSs or the DVDs. But,
Right.
there were just so many musicals, though, different. And if there weren't musicals in this box, there were movies that had, like, great soundtracks, like Color Purple, Serafina, Sister Act 2, just different, like, just a lot of, and that was what I was exposed to as a little kid, like 2, 3, and I would always try to emulate Lauryn Hill singing, or emulate the music I would hear in Serafina or in a Disney movie. And as I grew older, I started singing in church, started being more influenced by what my parents were listening to, and yeah, it just kind of took off from there. I cultivated it through high school, through going to choirs, entering choirs. I was in a few local choirs in Detroit. I'm actually from Detroit. It's my hometown. And a lot of people are influenced and inspired by, like, the Motown. Well, I was one of those kids. I was really inspired by, like, Aretha Franklin, Jackie Wilson. Like, I loved some Motown artists like Stevie. I loved, like, the Temptations, but I really loved Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, Jackie Wilson, just growing up. This is like before I hit puberty and my voice started changing. So yeah, like, that was when I started singing. I'm rambling.
It's like you said, though, today's kids will never know about the VHS, the DVD, or
Man.
those soundtracks. The soundtracks, sometimes those was doper than the movies. Like, if you heard a song playing in the background, like Boys in the Hood, that's what drove me to Tony, Tony, Tony. Just
Oh
me
yeah.
and you. I was like, oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
can't really tell you much about Boys in the Hood. I know it, but
You
I
love
know
the
I can tell you
soundtrack.
about that soundtrack.
Waiting to Exhale. It's got one of them kind of soundtracks where it's just like, and that was a soundtrack that was bumped heavy when I was growing up. My mom is a twin. There's not a
Okay.
lot of people in my family who can sing. My mom is a twin, and my aunt, she can sing. So when you have a parent, or you best friends with somebody who's a twin, because my best friend is also a twin, but they're really close. Most twins are very close. It's almost like the same person, but just different little personalities. So it was almost like I had one parent. And my aunt would listen to, like, those songs. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. My aunt would listen to, like, my aunt was you good. My aunt would listen to those sisters with, like, really strong voices. She would listen to gospel. She would listen to, like, Karen Clark Sheard, SWV, Whitney Houston, Shanice. Like, that's the type of stuff my aunt would listen to. So, before puberty, I used to want to try to hit those notes. So it really comes down to, like, those influences. And I'm just happy that I always had the right influences around me, for real. But
And that's what matters. Is like, you brought up Waiting to Exhale. And even though that came out, shit, I was probably, well, I know I was in high school and I wasn't going through none of that at that time. Now I completely get what they mean by Waiting to Exhale, because, I'm still holding my breath. However, I can say I never skipped a song. That's just how dope that whole soundtrack was. From even that Shantae Moore, Where You, no words. She just was scatting. But when I tell you that, from first to last,
man.
is one of them soundtracks that you can just play over and over. So I like that you had that surrounding around you. You mentioned church and stage plays and things of that nature. So when you was doing stage plays, what was your first one?
My very first stage play was a spring musical in high school. It was Hairspray. And Detroit is like 88, 90% black. So it wasn't really any white kids at the high school. So, like to do Hairspray, which it's a play about, it's got like, race related issues, and
Mhm.
it was just, it was interesting. But that was the first one. That was the first play that I did. I ended up getting the lead in that too, my 10th grade year in high school, when it was like unheard of for, younger, like I guess underclassmen, ninth and 10th graders to get parts. So like that really shocked me. And that was like that was the first play I did. I ended up doing a second one. It was kind of like the Wiz, but it was kind of like a fast paced version of the Wiz. Like, and I sang like some of the Scarecrow's parts. That was really interesting too. I haven't done a whole lot of plays, but I have done like just a lot of like tribute performances, paying tribute to like older soulful artists and stuff like that.
So is that when the bug hit you, or was it earlier on with that?
Oh, like I'm trying to think like of when a singing bug hit me. When I knew like, oh, you know, when I was younger, when I would sing, I heard you and Dre talking about this yesterday too. It was like a release. It was like and the type of music that I was exposed to, it was about, love. It was about heartache. It was about sex and stuff like that. But it was also spiritual music. So like my parents exposed me to a lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire. A lot of Donny Hathaway, Stevie Wonder. And just the music of that time. It just speaks in love in a spiritual way, and they sing in a different way. They sing in a spiritual way, and it's like a release. And I remember really getting that release. Like I want to say I was like in kindergarten, and I sang for like the fifth grade graduation at my school. I sang "Tomorrow" from Annie or something like that, and that was when I knew like, oh, I want to keep doing this. Like,
Damn.
man, I was like, I want to keep doing this. Like my kindergarten teacher was crying and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, I want to keep doing this.
Isn't that something like when it's like that I don't know, I can't explain it, but it's like you said, it is intertwined with you, this connection. So for me, I can't sing. I want to so bad. I really do. Like everybody know that when I put a microphone in my hand, they laugh, and they not like, ooh, she about to rip it. They like, oh, here this bitch go. But for me, when I can get up there and sing a song, I'm reading into these lyrics, right? And the
Mhm.
lyrics is what moved me to the
Yeah.
point I really and honestly think I sound like these people until I replay it, and I'm like, damn, I really did mess that song up. But it is
Feel.
something. It's that call, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Mhm.
So you in the plays, and after high school, so now you got your singing chops pretty much invested, right? Like, is this something
Yeah.
that okay, this is all I want to do?
It's something that I'm playing around with, because I was a little bit, of a knucklehead. Like I took a choir class when I was in college, but I ended up getting like a blue collar job my first year of college, and I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna take this job and go and make this money. I don't have no kids. This is decent money for my age right now, and I really just became a worker bee for a long time, and would just listen to music. And like one day I ended up getting some beats from one of my homeboys. He's a producer, and he's like, write some stuff to this, and it kind of clicked a spark like back into me, and it was just like, well, maybe I could, get into this and do this for real. So I'm well into my plant job, and that was when I started writing music, putting out my own music. Um, I like, and I'm in Detroit, and there's a lot of artists in Detroit. It's not a lot of male singers, but it's easy to get lost up in the artist sauce in Detroit. It's hard to stand out, and I had been at the plant for a few years, and one day, I had been singing live around the city, but not as much as I would have wanted to. And one day while I was at the plant, I was actually on the assembly line, Chrysler plant, And I ended up filling out an application for NBC's The Voice, just out of out of chance. I had auditioned for American Idol. I had auditioned for like The Voice before that, twice before that, and it never came to fruition. But this time, when I submitted that application, they called me back for an audition, and I ended up getting casted on season 19. It's just, and it's one of those things that it kind of started this shift in my life, like for the better, like things that I prayed for, were miraculously happening, and that was kind of the start. Like that was when I had to be like in my late 20s, like around 27, maybe 26, where I'm like, I'm gonna take music seriously, and I'm really gonna I don't know, I'm gonna invest my resources into it, my money into it. And yeah, when I got casted on The Voice, that was when I was just like, okay, that was what kind of like really solidified it for me. So, I'm
It,
rambling. I am so sorry for rambling.
no, listen, that's not a ramble. You remember, it's people that's listening that want to know, they want to know you.
It don't come, Keisha. It don't come easy. It's been a long little road from when I started taking it serious at like 25, 26 to like now. I'm 32 now. Like it's been a long road. I've had a lot of no's. I've had a lot of, you know, unsavory industry, social media interactions with certain I've had a lot of, negative things happen, but I've also had a lot of positive things happen. And I feel like I've had them happen because my intention behind putting my stuff out has always been positive. And that's important. That's
Yeah.
important. It's important. It's important to always, have positive intentions whenever you thinking of covering a song, whenever you thinking of putting it out, always have the right intention.
But I'm glad you shared that. That was another thing. Me, Dre, as you know, the Shandellas when they came on. This is an open space. And that's the environment that I want to create for people to just kind of be vulnerable, and not vulnerable in a way where we go walk away teasing it. Your vulnerability is actually inspiring somebody who has went through the same situations, has went, and tried out for the voice and all of that. Is somebody listening, probably more than somebody,
Mm-hmm.
who heard no and that no kept them down. But
Yeah,
just listening to you, it's like, look, I'd have been through it, but I'm still standing, you
yeah,
know, which is why you're on the podcast now. And so tell me about now. I heard you say you write songs, so you're a songwriter as well.
yes,
Have
yes.
you written for anybody, or is it just yourself?
Just myself. So far, I've done a few hooks for a few like local rappers in Detroit. Like, yeah, I've been writing songs since I was about 14, 15. My mom, I told you a little bit earlier that my mom and my dad split but my mom did get remarried. And my stepdad's nephews, he had friends that did music. And I remember like after school one day, I had to be like 14. He took me over to his homeboy's house, who was a producer, studio in his basement. They downstairs playing like, I don't know what kids play back then, Grand Theft Auto or something like that. They're playing stuff like that, like drinking and stuff. And I'm a little kid. They like, can you record? Can you sing this hook for me? And I remember he paid me like $250. I had to be like 14. And I was just like, what? That was when I was just like, oh, I can write songs for real. So and I thank him. His name is A Wood Beats, and I thank him for always planting that seed in my head that you can be creative, you can write creative things, and you can sing it. Every singer needs that seed planted in their head somewhere. It's
Hmm.
cool to have a beautiful voice, but know that you smart enough and you're wise enough and you're creative enough to write your own music. And it's nothing against people who don't write their music, but you know try and even if it's not as good as what other people may deem as professional perfect, it's still yours. It's still
Yeah.
yours. something that you created.
So what's your concept? Do you have to hear the music first? Is the music in your head yet? Do you write it to the lyrics? I mean, to the beat?
Sometimes I get melodies in my head and I'll hum the melodies out. I'll do like an acapella version of the melody and then I'll play it for like a producer and they'll create a beat from scratch off of that. Or sometimes I'll hear a beat and I'll, just think about lyrics and I'll start to try to match my lyrics up. I used to have this process where I would write almost in a rapping type of manner, but just with getting older and being influenced by newer music and older music, I've started to look at it a little bit differently. I find that I'm starting to get a little bit more poetic with my songwriting. Rapping and poetry is similar, but I you know I just find that it's changing. My soundscape is changing, the way I run, even down to my lyrics. A lot more mature, a lot more grown, and
So
I
I need to change the title to singer songwriter because
oh yeah,
dude, dude, like I mean, I have to, just say this. You reminded me of a younger version back in the day. All I would write was poetry. I'm a poet. I don't know which one is my first love first, whether it was music or poetry, because both of them was my escape. And
mm,
so I would be the chick that would be sitting in the library surrounded with poetry. My favorite poet is Nikki Giovanni, and I would have Langston Hughes on one end, Maya Angelou on the other end,
come on.
and I would be writing my own little style of poetry. And people would come to me like, "Will you write one to my boyfriend?" I'm like, "Well, shit, I ain't got one, but okay, fine, here you go." It's been a minute since I have done it, but I've done been on the stage, and that feeling that you get when people get quiet because they're ready to see, what comes out your mouth. And
Mhm. Or
so,
you say something and it just grasps their attention, and
yo,
yeah, my mama got me started. My mama was the poet. She always had a way with or with words, like always had a way with the English language. She is that grammar police officer who will correct
oh,
you. Yeah, oh,
oh yeah.
she's why my diction and the way I pronounce my pronunciation while I'm singing. It's my mama. She's don't say chew. She's one of those. Like,
Yes.
yeah, she was the one who kind of instilled in us that my sister and I, that we were capable of writing poetry. We were capable of writing something beautiful. So
So
like,
it's all been embedded, in you. So it felt to me, what I'm hearing is this was just meant for you anyway. So did you write that single? Oh, well, I know you had to. Why you sitting so far over? Listen, don't have me mess up your song.
look,
You wrote
I
that.
wrote that. I wrote that. I wrote so far over there, and it was at a time I told you earlier. I've been auditioning for just so many different things, just for so long, just trying to get my voice heard, trying to get my music heard. And I would often get told, "Oh, the music that you're trying to sing, that you're trying to audition with, is old. Don't nobody want to hear it. Sound like this person, sound like that person." And I kind of, felt like maybe, in my sound, I started feeling insecure about it. Like, is my sound dated? And with posting these covers that I've been posting on TikTok and the attention they've been getting, this is like old school 70s funk soul music my mama used to clean the house up with. This
Right.
is stuff that, nurtures my spirit. And it's stuff that I would get told for a long time nobody wanted to hear, but to see everybody embrace that, it kind of it gave me a whole new appreciation for this older music that I'm inspired by. And that's kind of like, so far over there, it's kind of like a love letter to that. When I heard the beat, I said, this got some Isley Brother vibes. I said, this is, I'm like, I want to write, something romantic, but I don't want to be overtly sexual. Like, like how a lot of R&B is these days, especially R&B from fellas. It's, it's real raunchy, and that's cool, but I wanna do something a little bit elevated. And like I just let the lyrics flow. I just kept listening to the beat over and over again. And like the lyrics just came to me. Just to me just like that. Like that Ronald Isley brothers influence. So far over there, there. Like it just came to me, and I'd like to hear, in this day and age, more slow groove R&B like that. Not super dirty, but romantic.
It is romantic, and I'm gonna tell you, see, it must be meant when my camera freeze because the face I just made, I keep telling you, threatening you, saying I'm gonna throw my shoe, and that's exactly what almost happened. But I have to say, with So Far Over There, it's a song that you don't have to say much because that's usually the beginning of the ass clapping session. That's usually the beginning. That's that number one question. Like, why you sitting?
But
Why you
that's
sitting
how you
so?
do it. That's how grown folks do it. You
Yeah,
imply
look,
and you
that's
give
the way of
implication of what's
y'all.
gonna happen next.
Yep. You can be sitting right next to the person. The minute they say why you sitting so far, you already know. So that song is an invitation. It's like you said, it's not over the top at all. But if you listening to it, that's who hasn't said that?
And
Who
it's
hasn't?
yeah,
And
it's
you already know it's going down. The
it's
minute you be
a
like,
layer.
why you sitting so
It's
far?
it's a
Like,
layered invitation. It's a layered invitation. Like it could mean, I want to get next to you, squeeze up on you, but just I want to get to know you. Like you sitting so far over there.
yeah,
It's a layered invitation, and I'm getting into this thing where I feel like all music it needs to be layered. People should listen to your music and then go back and listen to it again and think about it in a completely different way
hmm
sometimes, So I I'm very proud of it. I have some more music on the way, and I have a project getting ready to come out, and it's actually going to tap into those old school vibes that influence me, and the way that old people like Maurice White, people like Donny Hathaway, people like Sam Cooke, people from back in that time, the way they would deliver their vocals, it was a lot of emotionally charged singing, and I'm trying to get to a place where I can do that on a lot of these songs. I'm doing it on some of them, so I'm excited to like show y'all what's next and put more music out. Like trust me, So Far Over There is like the beginning though.
Yeah, I'm excited for you because it's what you said. Music does need to have, in my opinion, a layer
Yeah.
where you do go back and you say, wait a minute, I didn't know that they said that then,
Mhm.
and it can be tastefully done. It can be. And this is why I'm pretty much trying my best to bring music back to a place where it has some innocence, but it also was a vibe. You can play it and not have to turn it down,
Yeah.
which leads me to, and I'm gonna congratulate you in advance and be right there. You gotta come back. We're not done, by the way. I'm not closing out. You already know that, but you gotta come back once these projects because that's just how proud I am of you.
Of
So you
course.
talked about the insecurity that was, kind of plaguing you because here you are knowing, okay, I can sing, I have the tools, but you have people telling you, oh, that's dated, oh, that's this and that. So
Yeah.
then you decide, fuck it, let me start singing and see where it goes. When you picked up your phone and pressed record and belted out, now I came across it probably when was in your groove of posting. But what was the first song that you sang, and were you shocked that it was getting shared so much?
It it was "I'm So Into You" by Peebo Bryson.
So
And
that was it? That was the first one?
that was the first one that I posted. The one of the very first posts, I remember they were doing something on Instagram to Usher's song Climax, like years ago. And they were doing the going nowhere fast we reach the climax. They were like doing that as like a challenge. It was one of the first like vocal challenge videos to ever exist. And I ended up getting shared in a lineup with Usher by Eric Bellinger, and he still follows me to this day. Like, shout out to that brother. But to share all of us, he had been sharing people doing the runs the entire week, but he shared us. It was me and like maybe 5 or 6 other guys in the same lineup as Usher's video. So there was like a spotlight on us, and like that he cool in my book for that, because that just tripped me out. That was one of the first times that I had kind of had it happen, but it kind of dimmed down because it was kind of towards like, I guess, the end of that, like the hype for that particular challenge. But it happened again when I covered "I'm So Into You." That was when I had gotten a TikTok. That was probably my first like really popular cover on TikTok, and that tripped me out. I was like, oh man, what if people Bryson sees this? What if he doesn't like it? What if he's like, who is this kid running all over my song, or but no, like that tripped me out. And I remember singing it. I was in New York. My husband's an opera singer, and he had an opera in New York, and so we were in this Airbnb, and I remember just humming it to myself, singing it to myself. And one day I pulled my phone out, and I had seen people record and cover "Feel the Fire," and I was just like, well, one of my favorite ones is "I'm So Into You." It's always it's also like I told you, though, being intentional also means kind of thinking outside the box. And it's just like, well, everybody's singing this People Bryson song. Everybody's singing "Can We Talk" by Tevin Campbell.
Yeah.
I really like this People Bryson song. This is the shit to me. So I'm gonna sing this. And people liked it. Like, people really dug it. That really popular vocal coach, Jaron LeGraire, he shared it, and it really started gaining traction. Like, the vocalist pages just started sharing it just like wildfire after that. That was the first one that was the first video that I couldn't believe it. And I hadn't interacted with Peebo yet until I recently, when I covered "Feel the Fire," and he ended up interacting with me on TikTok, which blew my entire mind. Because, you talk about those influences.
Right.
Peebo Bryson is, my dad would like dare me to sing Peebo Bryson's music when I started to like hit puberty. And this is something a lot of fellas don't talk about. When I started to hit puberty, one way to kind of maintain your range is you have to keep building that muscle. It's almost like a muscle reset, and your voice is getting a little bit deeper, but you have to continue to train that voice so that you can continue to sing high. Don't hurt yourself, but continue to train it. And my dad would, tell me like, you should learn this Stevie Wonder song. You should learn this Peebo Bryson song. And "Feel the Fire" was one of the first songs by Peebo that I had learned. He had me sing it for a local contest. My dad suggested that I sing it for like a local contest in Detroit when I was 15. And I ended up winning the contest too. I got the big check and everything. So I got like a personal history with Peebo Bryson.
Yes.
Man, and to interact with him, it was a blessing. And I told you earlier, like I prayed for stuff like this. When I would be on that assembly line, my prayers, when you start praying for something, your prayers are outlandish. And then when God starts making, stuff happen little bit by little bit, your prayers get, a little bit more detailed. And that's just like, I prayed for my job at the plant. I was just like, I don't know if I'm a little, too focused for school right now. I got this good job. I'm gonna pray that I can get a good job, and it happened. And as I'm working, just the prayers with my music. Lord, I don't want to be I don't want to be Miguel. I don't want to be Bruno Mars. I don't want to be Avery Wilson. I don't want to be John Legend. But I would really love to be able to sing for a living. I would love to, be able to support myself singing. And it was something I prayed for. And the fact that me singing these old school songs has started to lead to that. It's just it's like God is real and prayer is real and intention is real. Because some of these covers, like again, I only posted the covers because it was just like, man, these young kids. I follow a lot of young singers on TikTok. These young kids don't know nothing about this. Let me put them on. It's always to get a positive dialogue started about some of the music that I like, and I'm sure other people like. So, man, just this year alone, it's been a blessing.
My head is blown in knowing that, that was your first one, and just the reactions that you got, and then again, as I'm listening to you, like you said, do the covers, man, I told you I can't go into detail, but you killing it. You you killing the originals. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you
hey, but the originals, they set the tone.
they
And a
did.
lot of time when people cover music, they try to create their own tone. And sometimes it doesn't work out for every song, especially that old emotionally charged music, like Read the Room. You feel me? And you
Yeah.
add your own little personality to it. But like Donny Hathaway's music, it's very emotional. And it's not something that I can sing every day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Even if somebody was to pay me to go out on stage and sing something, I could probably do it, but I would be an emotional wreck because some of those songs are just so emotionally charged. You can't help but to put yourself in the place of those songs when you're singing them. And I just feel like the way we deliver songs is just it's so important. It's so important, and I think it's a respect level for the original composition of it. It's a respect there too.
It
That I
really is.
needs to be honored. Don't do too much. My mom always told me don't do too much to a song.
And that's the thing, what I was saying to you, you still put your spin on it, but it definitely doesn't take away. Everybody that I've heard you cover, whose song it is that you're covering, but you switch that run up, you switch, you might take the note a little different, but it still is there, but it's wrapped with you. And I just I really want to thank you for that, because like you said, Donny Hathaway, he had to be going through some real grown up. When you listen to his music now, that man's singing with the bottom. Okay, whatever going down at the bottom, I ain't talking about the stomach. That stuff is coming from the bottom on up.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah,
like you said, I can see that being emotionally draining, because
yeah, yeah.
his stuff go have a trigger, to it. So this is what I forgot to put up here. Your stuff right here.
What you
You
talking
see
about?
that? We've been doing the whole interview, and I'm like, wait, I forgot to put his ticker up. So when we talking about today's music, and like you said, man, listen, shout out to the ones that's still trying to keep the music game
Yeah.
going. And I think, me personally, it's been a lot of singers that I've come across, and I said the same thing to Dre yesterday. You have to go searching for these singers now. They killing it, but what's taken over is songs that last for a second,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hot. It's in and
Mm-hmm.
hit the charts and everything, but you don't hear about these artists anymore, So I greatly appreciate you, still keeping it alive. But if you could do a duet with somebody, uh, I'm gonna say dead or alive. I ain't gonna make it too hard. A duet with someone, and you could like do like a cover song. Who would that be?
Oh, 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 oh. I would love to cover "If This World Were Mine" by Luther Vandross and Cheryl Lynn, and I would love to like cover it with a sister that's got like a beautiful high like falsetto, not like exactly like Cheryl's, but something that's controlled, but just like if I like oh somebody like who has like one of those beautiful like high falsettos that like just not high falsetto but high soprano voices, you know. Hmm. Oh, it's a lot of gospel singers in my
It
head.
gotta be somebody gospel because I'm trying to think for you,
I'm
and I'm
trying
like,
to think. I'm like, it's a lot of gospel singers in my head. But like somebody like if I could do it with somebody like Fantasia.
oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, somebody like Fantasia. She ain't got like that who would I love to do something like that with? Yeah, it's a lot of gospel singers I would love to do that with.
You know what though? I think gospel will. You mentioned Fantasia. She all gospel in her. I don't care the genre of music she's singing now. I think that she would be her, and I think Monica.
I,
Monica. She got some chops on her too.
there's a girl from my city named from Detroit. Her name is Eris Yancey, and she sang with Ricky Dillard, New G, for a second. Now I think she sings gospel and secular music, but the girl can sing. She's got one of those like high, like Cheryl Lynn type of voices. I might approach her to do something like that. Like I might approach her to do something like that. Put it on my new project. Look, you got the gears turning,
Come
Keisha.
on,
Like you got the old school vibes turning. Cause she about
listen.
that. Her name is Eris Yancey. She about that. She can like baby girl can sing.
We
Like
gotta shout her out. Hey, hop on. Let's get this duet started because
I
I
might
need
approach
I
her.
need this music in my life. So okay, you would do that if this world was mine. Man, my goodness, when you said that, I took like a deep like, wow, because it's one of them songs when you hearing Luther, oh man, and you hearing Cheryl, it's like they voice blend. It's like butter and popcorn. Yeah, I gotta equate everything to food.
They complement each other so well, and I feel like one of the issues why you don't see a lot of that anymore, like the brothers and sisters doing duets anymore, is it's a lot of ego in the way.
Yeah.
I got to out sing her, she got to out sing me, she look like this, she gon' you put that ego aside and you do it for the need to just make beautiful music, for the need to touch people. Tyrese has got some look, shout out to Tyrese. Tyrese has a cover. It's like a Gladys Knight cover. I believe it's Neither One of Us, and I believe
Oh,
it's with Tamar Braxton. Keisha, Keisha, that is a beautiful cover in the way that they deliver it. You know that the intention wasn't for them to out sing each other. The intention was for them to compliment each other and really sing about some shit that they have gone through.
yeah.
Like I was saying something, I said something in a post the other day about how I feel like sometimes I feel like this sometimes. These are not the views of the Put Your Phone Down podcast, but I feel like a lot of music that we listen to is like overtly regulated by younger minds, by kids, teenagers, even the R&B. And because of that, you don't get a lot of that emotional singing anymore because younger people can't really relate to it the way older people can. They can, they can be moved by beautiful lyrics. I feel like they can be moved by, vocals that sound pretty, but singing with emotion, is two different vibes. And I feel like we get a lot of R&B that's, rhythmic, it's melodic. It's easy to sing along to, but we don't get a lot of bluesy R&B music, rhythm and blues.
Hmm.
And I just feel like that balance. I feel like there's room for both types of R&B music to exist, but there needs to be a balance, and we don't get enough blues and R&B, rhythm and blues anymore. So
No, I have to hop on the train with you and say I personally think the emotion that's missing is love.
it's needed. It's needed
We
too.
Yeah, we don't the music, you're not talking about love anymore. It's straight up about taking you home, how
It's
much
like
money you
straight up
got.
about, it's about sex.
It's about sex.
If
I mean, over a nice beat, so it's catchy, and you're gonna listen to it. But if you listen to it, it changes your thought process. You don't think about falling in love. You're thinking about, getting, like I
getting
said, your
busy,
cheeks clapped.
especially and again, intention is everything. The way that you write it, the words you use. If you just, P word this, P word this, P word this. This is why I say I feel like kids, they kind of have a little bit too much control, is because we all were kids once. We all were, in school. What did we do in school? We talked crazy around our friends and our friends.
Right.
We cussed, we talked nasty, that's something that we did as kids because we knew we couldn't do it at home. And it's like the music, a lot of music that we listen to is reflecting that, especially rap music. I got some rappers I like, but I'm an R&B artist. But as far as R&B is concerned, like I said, there's this it's just like this emphasis on uh music that's not really emotional anymore. And
Yeah.
I got some records that and it ain't to put, I feel like a lot of the music again is being pushed because it's easy to go, like it's easy to go along with nobody knows you like you. It ain't easy to go along that, she was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
She left with my man. Like that's like when you hear Kelly Price sing that song, you in that situation. You like it needs to be a balance. It needs to come back. And I'm praying. I think that it's gonna make a comeback.
I
You
believe that too. I mean, because honestly, and I think we both on the same page with that, because you don't have any songs that make you want to tap into that love muscle and say, dang, I wanna um I wanna fall in love again. Or I
know?
like, shout out to Raheem Devon. He
Oh
covered
yeah,
Let's Fall in Love Again, the Isley version.
yeah.
And let me tell you, the song is just absolutely beautiful. He did a lot like what I said you did. He didn't hurt it. When you
Yeah.
play that song and you play the Isley version, you like, damn, okay.
They
He
almost complement each other. One is like a love letter to the song.
Yeah,
That's what I try to do when I cover these. Oh, I try to make it like a love letter to the original artist. I don't want to copy verbatim, but I don't want to switch it up too much. And I feel like, that's real neo soul.
yes
We
it
don't forgot,
is.
yeah, people don't forgot that genre. It's still around. I was saying how we're seeing these videos of JD. Oh, there's not enough churchy singers. They out here, just like
Yeah,
you said earlier. You just gotta look for them. Those
you
kind of
got
singers are out
to.
here. You
You got,
know,
and then you be shocked how long they've been on the scene. Like, it take one song or for you to go viral, and they be like, "No, I've been doing this." Like, I got music going from the 2020, 2019, but sometimes it's that one song, and these people been on a grind. Like, it's Jasmine Sullivan is the perfect example. You understand what
man.
I'm saying?
Yes, yes. Been it's
Jasmine been in the game.
for
People need to
years.
Google Jasmine. That girl was on the Apollo. She started singing when she was young, just like you. But now it's people just now stepping into the Jasmine Sullivan streets. You like, no, she been that chick.
Like they like, oh, that Hotels album. I'm like, what you talk about? I was on when she did Resentment. When her version of Resentment. I heard her version of that song Resentment before I heard Beyonce's.
Mhm.
And quiet as it's kept, I love Beyonce's version, but I love Jasmine Sullivan's. I prefer Jasmine's version
Oh,
because
Jasmine go have your ass. You ain't even got to be going through with the resentment, but she go have you somewhere towards the end when she throw. Let me tell you, you got me stuttering. When Jasmine did that, I'm sorry. I'm like you, Beyonce. You cool,
but
but
it's
it's a whole different texture.
it's so, and Beyonce has those moments. She has her songs. We ain't gonna make it about that, but
Right.
just the way that lady sings. And one thing. Sometimes I do, think like that. Like, child, where have y'all been? Why are y'all just now wanting to give Jasmine Grammy? She should have got a Grammy for her first. I bust the windows out your car. She should have got a Grammy for that. Look.
Yes, she should have, because she inspired a lot of people to get them bats and rock. Okay. They was playing that song.
Look, she's a whole lot of court cases. That's what she is.
Hello.
Look. No, but like I will say this. I'm happy that she is one of those R&B artists that has that old school flavor that's still getting pushed to the forefront. It's some newer ones like October London. I mess with that. Like,
Yeah.
I mess with that. Like, I like that. Death Row just signed another artist called Charlie Be Real. He's got this high falsetto. He sounds like the lead singer from the Stylistics. Like, homie is raw, like panty dropper voice, but one of those high voices. It's like Philip Bailey's. It make you like, it draws you in. It's more than just one of those, it's one of those, silent but deadly voices. Like
I'm gonna have to check into him.
Be Real. It's Charlie Be Real. But Snoop Dogg's been doing his thing though when it's like come to like signing talent with just with those soulful roots, like that stuff that we got from Faith Evans, the stuff we got from Mary J, from Kelly Price, the stuff we even got from our fellas, Brian McKnight, Case, like Carl Thomas, the stuff we got from those fellas in the 90s. Like, I'm starting to see like a slow resurgence of it. And I'm hoping that, it continues and we get some balance. We get some more Jasmine Sullivans and some October Londons pushed to the forefront. The way that we got like SZA and Doja Cat pushed to the forefront,
Right.
I'd like to see all coexist together, and you take your pick. What's your favorite? That's how I grew up.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, because it was so many genres. Like,
right.
I grew up listening to James Ingram and Jeffrey Osborne, The Whispers, and I didn't have to choose. It wasn't a war. I could listen to Jeffrey and then switch on to something else.
Amen.
Kenny Loggins, and I would still feel the music. So shout out to everybody we just mentioned, because they really are India RE, Music Soul Chat. They really are still Jill Scott, Erykah Badu. They still trying to like you said, let people know, look, we still here. It's Summer Walker. Even I listened to a song the other day. I was like, damn, that's Summer Walker.
You know who I like too? I like the Pressure. Ari
Lennox. I knew you was gonna say her.
And I love the tone of her voice. She's like if Erykah Badu was a gospel singer. Like, I love the tone. It's so unique. It's she's a sister that I would love to collaborate with on like a ballad.
Yeah.
I don't know which one, but I would love to collaborate with her on something. Like, beautiful voice. They out here.
It took 2 seconds for me to listen to Ari. I like her song La La La. If you haven't heard that, man, it's like, it's bluesy. And I don't ask me why, but I kept that song on repeat. It's just a good
this song on the her most recent body. Her most recent project, she had a song with Lucky Day that I really liked.
Lucky Day, shout out. I love him.
And that's what I mean. There needs to be like that type of music and those kind of artists, like a Lucky Day. They need to be propelled, to the front of R&B, like pushed to the front of R&B just as much as, those rhythmic R&B artists, the Rod Waves, the SZAs, like just as much as the R&B that these little kids like. That grown R&B needs to get pushed to the forefront just as much. And when I was younger, there were examples of that when I was younger. Like, when I was younger, we had like Sierra, we had like Ashanti, Beyonce, but grown folks had people like, I remember Charlie Wilson did like his big return.
Yes.
Like, hey girl, how you doing, Charlie? Like I remember when and it was like, that was the perfect example of the kids, what we liked coexisting with what, that grown, mature stuff. It takes a balance. It takes a balance. If one is too balanced, it's gonna mess with the youth, like.
And you know what? You make a good point, because R. Kelly, whether people, don't mess with him or not, he actually dug deep and got the Isley brothers kind of to resurface
Yes, he did.
with Contagious. And
Yes, he did.
then young folks knew about the Isley brothers, and we got a chance to listen to one of my favorite songs, Tears. I Can't Hold. Now, I'm not even gonna try to sing like you, but I love that song. That's one of my favorite Isley songs when they started coming back. I can't hold
I love the Isley
back
Brothers. When I
the.
would go to church,
That was it.
one of my aunts, she would take me to church, and it like I was always afraid of my voice changing, but I wasn't afraid of my voice changing because when I would go to church, my aunt, she was like our neighbor, but she would babysit me, my sister's auntie. She started taking me to church, and the deacons would do praise and worship, and they had one of them had that Ron Isley kind of voice, kind of like there's a gospel singer too, I believe, named Frank Williams, who has like
Hmm.
a similar sound, like, and it's just it's something so pleasing about it. It's just I've always been a fan of like those older, like those old man type of voices. It's just
Yes.
they just hit different, like, and I think that's why people like, it's not just because they're relevant and it's Ron Isley, it's Charlie Wilson, but it's a quality to their voice too that it's generational.
Yeah.
I think Stevie could drop a hit today.
Me
Still,
too.
I think he could. Still, he
Yeah, I mean, and it's also everybody had their own sound. Like you
yeah,
didn't have to sound like the next person to get a hit. Like everybody's, you knew when they came on the radio. You didn't get it mixed up like I do now. I'm like, oh, that's such and such, and then I look it up, like, oh shit, that's not them.
yeah,
Everybody kind of sounding the same, and I'm not hating, but if you grew up listening to music, you knew that everybody had. You had Barry White, okay, his deep voice self, and then you had another person. So it's like, um we're doing our best, as you said, to kind of bring that up. Rio, I want to talk about two things, two or three, because
come on.
we hitting an hour, honey. I always tell people 30 minutes,
It's
and then we get
therapeutic
on
for me.
here.
Look, this is so therapeutic for me, girl. I'm loving it.
I love this, man. um I was all on your page, okay, just trying to do some research. And I see you be all over the world, honey. You are all over the world performing. I told you I cannot pronounce this word for
Oh,
nothing. So,
Amsterdam.
yes, tell me your experience there. I've seen you at the Wax Museum. I'm seeing you on stage and stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, hold up. Like, so tell me about this.
So my husband, he's a professional opera singer. I mean, like world class. Look, John Holiday, world class. Like he's a professional opera singer. He's also a countertenor. So his voice part is rare. It's like Philip Bailey's. It's really high. So
Ooh,
it's rare, and like his voice part is, it's only like maybe three or four, like major countertenors that people go to, and he's one of them. So we travel a lot. And the first time I ended up going out of the country with him, we went to Munich, which is in Germany. And there weren't any, performance opportunities for me. I got to see the city and whatnot. It was beautiful. But when we ended up going to Amsterdam, is, more people speak English there. And I hit the ground running. The minute we got to our Airbnb, I hit the ground running, trying to figure out where I could perform, who did open mic nights. And it was just always a dream of mine because one of my biggest inspirations was always Aretha Franklin. And there are like these videos of her on YouTube performing in Amsterdam. She's super sweaty. Everybody's just laying on the stage, just watching her sing. And it was just always like a profound image to me. It was always, a bucket list type of thing. Like it's one thing to want to sing on an international stage, but like I want to sing on the stage at Amsterdam. Like I saw Aretha sweating. And so the fact that I was like fortunate enough to do that, and much like when I did The Voice, I think when things are kind of like when there's a God is at play, when that it's an assignment, it's like doors will continue to be open and you don't even know why they're opening and why these things, like, hey, I want to sing at your bar tonight, and the band director is nice as hell to you, and you don't know why he nice to you. But he's cool. Like, yeah, bro, you can say what you want to sing. Y'all following each other on Instagram. Just it's like the communication is right. It's not. It's that's when you know that it's God is at play there. And it was like that when I did The Voice. I rode to Indiana to audition for The Voice. I auditioned outside of Indianapolis. Rode down there through a snowstorm, made it, and it was like a blizzard, a nasty blizzard from Detroit. Made it. When I get there, security guard is like, "This might be your lucky day. Where are you from?" I said, "Detroit." He said, "The casting director is from Detroit. This might be your lucky day." Casting director, like, he liked the songs that I did one after another. It's like when God is at play, it's a succession of doors opening, and that's how it felt when I would ask around to perform in Amsterdam. Being from Detroit, and I'm just speaking from my experience. I'm a little timid, and I'm still kind of working on that as a performer, just as a person, but really as a performer, because I want to be able to, provide for myself and my family doing this. And it was just, it was such a blessing that it was that it was a positive, experience asking to perform at these bars with these people, because I've gotten some cold shoulders trying to perform at open mic nights. I try and go up and sing. DJ be like, "Oh, the mic messed up." Like, I done been through that type of stuff before. So I thank God for uh, every positive situation, and like those positive outcomes. Like, I really like relish on them. So yeah, like that was one thing that just the eagerness of them to want to perform with me. Like, that was one thing that it was amazing. The fact that they soul and that old R&B music is big there. It's popping there. Like, they love that stuff. They love that. They love the stuff that we doing over here in the United States. They love it over in Europe. Like, I ended up leaving, connecting with like 2 or 3 different venues. 2 of them told me, when you come back to Amsterdam, please let us know beforehand, and we will book you. However long you are here, we will book you, and we will pay you to come up here and perform. And it's just like, it's a blessing to be able to network like that, and make those genuine connections. It's a blessing to be able to network like this with you. Like, it really is. I feel like it's that succession of doors opening, and like I'm walking in my purpose.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. I mean, it again, it's something, where at some particular point my stuff freezes, but I have this smile on my face. I may as well take off my wig now, because honey, listen, what's
Get
the point?
comfortable, baby. You still a queen. You still look good, baby.
You better say that.
Baby, they better stop playing with my queens. My queens, my sisters look good with the wigs, without the wigs, baby.
With or without, baby.
Y'all
Okay.
slay. It don't even matter. Y'all slay. Get
This this your journey um is extremely inspiring, and I don't want you to ever think that nobody sees you. I think what's happening with you is basically is your time, sometimes, if not all, a guy just has to make some tweaks. It's like you said, when you pray, and then at first, you like, oh, this is actually working. And you got to go back
and make some
and rework some things.
and
That's
arrange
how
your
he does.
attitude, arrange how you acting,
Yeah.
not just carve out and get more detail with your prayers, but you gotta rearrange how you acting and how you move.
Yeah.
A lot of singers, when they look on, I remember I was watching what you and Dre were talking about, and he was talking about seeing other singers and feeling like you should be where they are, and whatnot. Everybody has their own path, and people they have their own set of doors that get slammed in their faces. And I've been young and naive and thought I was this and thought I was that, and I've gotten humbled. God made a way for me to get humbled. Like, baby, well, you think you all of that, but it's somebody, that is somebody who can sing too. So, just man, just stand prayed up, stand prayed up. And again, your intention.
Yeah.
When I stop thinking like that, when I stop thinking I should, this should be, shit started happening for me when I stopped thinking like that, as opposed to I just love this music. I'm gonna cover it. I just love this music. I just love, this beat. I'm gonna write a song to it, doing it for me, doing it, for somebody else even. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, like more of that. We need more of that. That Donny Hathaway cover that got a lot of attention on TikTok. The intentions behind me posting it. I'm gonna be honest. I was seeing it was the week of Juneteenth when I posted that someday we'll all be free cover. And I just was seeing just kind of like bullshit go viral on, all on my timeline on TikTok, bullshit. You feel me? Just
Mhm.
divisive bullshit. And I was just like, okay, well, I want to cover a song for Juneteenth, but something that's gonna make my people feel good, something that's gonna uplift their spirits. And that was something that got a lot of attention, and I wasn't expecting it to. Like Snoop Dogg shared that one. That tripped me out. But at the end of the day, the reason why I'm like humbled by it is because I didn't sing it with this, oh, I'm gonna get a bunch of attention singing this. It was more so like, my intentions behind posting it, Let me put something positive into the black TikTok algorithm, since y'all trying to make that go viral and that go viral, and just once again, it felt like that succession of doors. It felt like, I gotta like that Donny Hathaway cover, like a lot of like people that I've celebrities and artists that I've looked up to for years, like have reached out to me just on the low in the DM, and it's insane. It's insane, you
But see,
know.
that's how you know it's your time when I always tell people, God gotta go back in the kitchen. It's like we can have the ingredients, we can have it all laid out. But when we go to him, he say, no, no, instead of salt, I'm gonna put something else in there and play. And when it's time, he presents you and you are in your own lane. There is no competition. There is no, well, let me see if I can go ahead of this person. That's when you really and truly are standing in your purpose and saying, look, I know it's 1,000 singers, but he created me in my lane and I'm going to do the damn thing.
It's
And
what I'm
so this
it's
is how you know it's your time. I mean, it really is your time. He created you just for this moment. When you got celebrities recognizing you and patting you on the back, it's because God is saying, hey, make room. You are right where you are supposed to be. And I'm so thankful. And speaking of thankful, my new segment. I'm going to ask the artist. I used to say, who is your favorite GOAT? But now it's more as far as what is Rio thankful for?
Rio is thankful to have so much of his family, those influences that I talked about earlier, so much of his family still in his life. My mom, my dad, my husband, my sisters, my brother. I'm thankful to have my aunties, just everybody still here. My village, most of my village still here. And I'm thankful that God is giving me an opportunity to do what I love, and not just to do what I love, but do what I love in a way where it pours into me, where I don't feel like, where I don't feel like my self esteem is low. He's, enabled me to do that, and it's something that I prayed for a really really long time, and man, like I'm just so thankful for that, like so thankful. I and not just like that I can kind of provide for myself doing like what I love, but the fact that I don't feel like I don't feel like like as I said before, I don't feel like I'm losing myself in the process. I don't feel like I'm doing anything that's not me. And I'm just so happy to have, people like Erica Campbell, like India Ari reach out and tell me, like, reach out and show love to me. Like, and just doing what I love, singing the type of music that I love to sing, singing music that, I feel like is created to uplift others, for that to open up opportunities. I'm thankful for that. Like, man, just, whew. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to just live every day, breathe every day, and I don't know, like growing my gift every day. Uh, get to interact, interacting with everybody. I'm thankful for the ability to do that. Interacting with people like you, people everywhere every day. I'm so thankful for that opportunity, not just ability, opportunity. And whew, I'm rambling. I'm sorry,
You
but
stop.
you're
No,
gonna
you're
have me
not. And you know
emotional.
what?
You're gonna have me emotional up in here, like,
Look.
because it truly is something that, girl, I used to be on that assembly line, like, girl, there would be times where I used to want to get booked in Detroit so bad, like, they ain't booking no fellas, getting left on red. You like,
Yep.
I'm talking like years, getting into it with people, asking them to listen to my music, getting into it with major like vocalist pages, asking them, how do I get reposted on your page? Like, getting into it with them. Like,
Mhm.
I've gone through years of that, doing the Instagram contest, doing TikTok singing contest, like years of getting told, no, years of getting told, yeah, but I never quit. You
That's
know,
right.
I never quit, and it's my love of music that allows me to, never quit, and the, I guess, assurance that I have in my gift. I truly believe it's God given, and I say that with no ego, and I like to treat it as such. I like to um and treat it as such. When I say, and I like to treat it as such, that even means, being picky about what I choose to sing. And
Yeah.
I think that is something that a lot of singers could learn. You feel me? You know, put more thought into what you sing, what you want to put out with that beautiful voice that God has given you. Um,
And that's exactly what you're doing. Like, just as you are thankful for the blessings that you have, we're thankful for you. We are. And I know you don't know how many people love you. Is the people you haven't even met all the people that love and adore you. I mean, just from having this conversation, and like I said, you gave me a yes, and you didn't have to. I can already tell that, the doors is opening. It just took for you to get those bumps and bruises that we all experience. We had the off camera talk where I told you, look, is your ask is never going to be easy. you
yeah.
know it's gonna come with a lot of stuff you didn't see. God blinds the hell out of you, okay?
Yes.
Like, he blindside the hell out of you. And you gotta be in Peter, you gotta be like Peter, be in Peter mode. Get in that water and you go see, the water going left, right, and you wanna give up. But hey, Jesus stood up and was like, look, fam, what you worry for?
That's right.
You and your storm is fine, but I'm right here. I told you you was gonna be okay. And I believe that's what it's like with an ask. Hey, I want to sing. He said, okay, I'm gonna have some slimy people come your way, some bad deals come your way. I'm gonna
Mhm.
have some false commitments come your way. Will you still trust me?
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna put you in this position where you're gonna have to deal with some really messed up individuals who don't have your best interests in heart, will you still use your gift?
Yeah.
It's how you use your gift. You know, you
Yeah.
could be on Instagram or any other social platform using your voice to dog people out, and nobody would know you can sing. It's what you do with your gift and in your season, where God can stretch you. So, you know, closing out though,
I
is it anything you want you want to close out with, Rio?
sing a little something. I'll sing a little something. Look, I feel like I should stand up.
You better have on some bottoms. So don't you be
I got
standing up, because
I
you ain't
got
about to go viral like.
okay. Okay. Some folks would rather have houses and land. Some folks choose silver and gold. Oh, yeah. These things they treasure and forget about their souls. I decided to make Jesus my choice.
Ooh, I had my fist balled up. You better understand. I want to fight you so bad, but not in a bad way. It's just you took us to church. You took us to church. Ladies and gentlemen, I have had the honor, the pleasure, and my dream has come true. We talked about music, we talked about him finding his passion, but most importantly, we talked about the Lord and
Yes.
how he does not give up on us, so we cannot give up on him. Everything this young man talked about was things that he saw, and it started to happen once he got on the right path. And I'm just, oh my goodness. Rio, I know you are officially coming back. You ain't gotta say yes. I'm a hunt you down. I don't care. You can try to block me. I'm gonna find you
I ain't
again.
gonna block
So I want to thank you so much for that song. I want to thank you for spending shucks damn near 2 hours, okay, with us chopping it up. Um, Rio, I'ma also go give you the floor to tell people where they can find you in the social world.
you. Okay. Well, first and foremost, Keisha, thank you for reaching out to me. Um, I ain't no prophet. I ain't none of that, but I predict some big things are gonna happen for you in this podcast. Like they already are happening. It's moving. It's moving for you. And um I can just tell by your spirit, even the way you reached out to me, just like some great things are gonna happen for you with this platform. And I'm glad to have been a part of it. um Everybody watching, hello, y'all can follow me at on Instagram at I am Rio underscore, as well as TikTok I am Rio underscore. I'm also on YouTube at Rio. I have new music out, my new single so far over there. It's streaming everywhere. You can get it everywhere. Slow groove, grown and sexy vibes for you. And if you're looking to check me out live, I am doing something in Bowie, Maryland, on the 12th out here. So, you're looking to check your mans out live. I'm doing a Earth, Wind, and Fire tribute, Frankie Beverly tribute, October 12th. And I'll also be doing Apollo Amateur Night, October 16th in New York. So those are my
October
dates.
is busy for you. I'm so glad this camera not working. I am a boo-hooing fool. Man, I don't understand.
Girl, I've been a boohooing fool. Like maybe 2 days ago, I was in the closet and dropped down on my knees, like, oh my God. I had confirmed the song that I was gonna do at amateur night at Apollo. And the lady emailed me back. She like, okay, got your confirmation. We'll see you on the 16th. And I just dropped down like, oh Lord, thank you. Cause I remember, like I say, I remember crying like, don't nobody know who I am. I'm not gonna get no opportunity. I don't get opportunity, and it's just happening. And it's happening with nothing but persistence and just believing that God is able and that God has a plan for me. And as long as you keep your head on that, keep your head on what you're passionate about, you know, keep your head on cultivating that gift. Like it'll happen. Like the way you cultivating this podcast, like you interviewing Trey Scott, you interview the Shandellas, like, and we saying yes because it's something about your spirit and the way that you reach out to us in our DMs or something. It's something that we can feel that goes, yeah, I'll
Oh,
chop it up with her, and like I said, I predict big things, for this podcast, the Put Your Phone Down podcast. I had to let them know on Instagram. It's not your phone. It's your
okay, that's a YO up in that thing.
phone.
Dre, Lord, I'm calling you Dre Rio. Look, I both of y'all tough singers, like I said. Um, I want to thank you for that. This the role that we both talked about off camera.
Yeah.
It's not easy, again off camera. It's just me praying first, and then me going ahead and saying, "Hey, nobody has to take a chance on me." This was not my vision for this podcast was really small. It was very mediocre. I'll be very honest with you. It was really to highlight people in my city. And I was like, okay, I want to highlight people in my city. I consider myself an underdog. And so I wanted to reach out to businesses, small businesses, beginning businesses, people that was having grand openings, restaurants. And it turned into something a tad bit more when it didn't seem like people in my area were available.
Hmm.
I mean, I tried everybody, and this is the truth. When I started it, I said, okay, oh, this store up the street open. Let me see if they'll take a chance. Everybody was too busy. Oh, I got this going on. I got that going on. And it was just God building me up like, look, don't look at that as a rejection, because maybe one day the tables will turn and those people that you was asking for will be asking for you, you know, if you continue to go forward. And so when I saw that, certain people in my city wasn't really grasping the idea, whatever their reasonings were,
Yeah.
God just was like, well, look, I'm gonna kick this door open for you. And
That's
I
right.
said, well, I'm gonna walk through, and
Right.
it was I did it being nervous, but it really and truly taught me, look, you got this. Just hold a conversation, which is something that I've always felt like I've been able to do, so I really and truly thank you for recognizing that. Like, one thing about me, I'm real solid. I'm real, as you know.
For sure. Yeah.
I'm a real chick. I'm not go get on here and make it seem like none of this was easy, but it's definitely worth it when I see what God has shown me, like you come together. I'm like, well, I see why certain things didn't work out, or I see why certain interviews didn't land it. I've had some interviews that they didn't make it. I'm not because I ain't like them. I'm just like, no, that make me look bad. No,
Yep.
so thank you for speaking into me. That really means so much to me. And thank you for, like I said, sharing your gifts with us. It's so many people, content creators, and I'm not at all dogging them, but it's so many content creators that I see, that might make a spoof, or they might get popular for making a prank. And then you find out that they can sing or they can dance. And then the audience don't take them serious. They like, oh, they singing now? And it's like,
Yeah.
well, you kind of lost your chance using what you think is popular. Your calling is not gonna be popular.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's the one thing people sleep on, and then you gotta wake them up. But when you get out here and you try to do something trendy, and then you try to step into your calling, by that time people ain't fucking with you because they want to see that jokester. So
Yep.
I love the fact that you use your platform for your gifts
Mm-hmm.
because, as my brother Dontre told me, your gifts make room for you. And when he told me that, I never looked back. I just needed somebody to speak that into me. So, um, everybody, I have the singer, songwriter, viral sensation. I mean, booked and busy all of October. You want to find him? You better get in that inbox or that email and do it right now because I predict 2025 is about to show out with Rio in every room that he deserves to be in. And I'm saying that with confidence. This is not going to be the last time we hear from you. So I'm going to continue to watch for you on TikTok. I can't believe it took me so long to get on TikTok. I was like, I ain't getting on there.
Me too. Me too.
People was talking about recipes and I'm like, look, I'm not for it, but it's opening so many doors and opportunities. And I finally got my wish fulfillment, which is to have Rio. So who would have known that was your first video that I saw?
Mhm.
What was that smoke? Was you
It
smoking
was a
something?
it was a filter. It was a
Okay, because
filter.
I had to ask that. I was like, he feeling good. I mean, he feeling real good. It's okay though. You brought what you needed to bring.
You
Okay.
really used to. No, no, no.
But we've covered so many things, and I know it's more, like you said, work to come along. I appreciate you again and again and again for hopping on Put Your Phone Down podcast.
Yeah.
Um, Ladies and gentlemen, I have the viral sensation singer songwriter Rio. You see his handle. Don't be playing. Y'all go and follow him. Go on YouTube and y'all need to go ahead and get that so far over there. Like you need to play that and understand this is what you be saying anyway when somebody's sitting next to you and you want some. So just have the song playing so you don't have to say it. Like, come on, what you waiting for?
That's right.
Rio, I want to thank you for the listeners that's still rocking with me. Thank you so much for every share, for every text message I get of people saying, "Hey, look, you killing it." I'm not looking for it, but it is I received the love, y'all. So you can find me now. I'm on TikTok, y'all. I don't remember my name, but it's Put Your Phone Down 5 or something. I don't know. But I'm on TikTok, social media, and all platforms. So if you want to find this interview, it'll be on YouTube and hey, all other audio platforms. I'm your host, Keisha, and my special guest, Rio. You say his name like the Candy Man, and some talent will appear. Mr. Rio, you can find him anywhere. Hey, one more question, because I saw somebody was asking you, do you sing at weddings or are you done with that?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh no.
Okay.
I'm like
So,
Keith Wyatt, baby. You can book me for a wedding. Oh yeah. You could definitely
so
book me for a wedding.
So for my folks that's looking for some wedding singers, he's not above that. So check him out. I know somebody asked him and he said DM me. So DM him. Don't get on there in his comment sections asking. This is a businessman, okay? So but he does do weddings, y'all. So look, he's the complete package. Rio, thank you again for hopping on Put Your Phone Down podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Keisha. I want to thank everybody for listening. And this will be available on all platforms. Have a good one, y'all, and be safe and be kind to one another. And don't forget to find something to be thankful for.
That's right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.